Welcome to Little Steps Live. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Shay. I am from Little Steps Asia. I'm sitting over in the Hong Kong office, and today we are having a big education chat. As you know, Little Steps is passionate about education. We work with a lot of the schools throughout Asia, and today's topic is no exception. We are going to be here chatting with Mount Kelly over in Hong Kong. Say hello over there.
Hi.
That's Miss Fawzy. She's the deputy head of the preschool, and today we're going to talk all about their preschool. We're going to learn a lot about the international and the bilingual stream, get a little bit more insight in terms of what it's like to be a preschooler over at Mount Kelly, Hong Kong. So we've got a lot of things to talk about. But before we get started, I do want to go through a couple of reminders. As you might know, we go live twice a month. Sometimes a bit more, but it's usually twice a month. The best way to keep updated in terms of what is coming up is to just head over to our Facebook page, check the events tab, and you'll be updated in terms of what's coming up. A couple other reminders is that we're always looking for great topics. So if you have some topics that you think that parents would be interested in, email us over at editor@littlestepsasia.com. We're looking for resources, various do-it-yourself ideas, always on the lookout. So if it's interesting for you, it's probably interesting for the rest of us as well. One more reminder is to sign up for our weekly newsletters. This is really how you find out about all the good stuff. So we send these out every Tuesday in Singapore and every Thursday in Hong Kong and KL and Jakarta as well on a monthly basis. So just check the link in the description and you can sign up for the newsletters and you'll find out about everything that we do for parents in Asia. So let's get started. So today we are going to be talking with Mount Kelly, Hong Kong. We're going to be talking all about their early years program, their preschool, what it's like to be a student over there, as well as their play group. We've got a lot of topics to cover, and lucky for us, we have the one and only Miss Fawzy, the deputy head of the preschool over there. And I just, before we get started and into the topics themselves, I'd love for you to just give the readers just a little bit more information about yourself, because you've done a lot of different things, a lot of openings and just various activities in the education space. And tell us a little bit about Mount Kelly in Hong Kong, general introduction.
Right. Well, first of all, Shay, thank you so much for having me. Little Steps Asia. It's a pleasure being part of your platform, and I'm very excited.
We love you too.
So a little bit of myself. I've been in the education field for about 20 years. I've been managing and leading different schools in different places around the world, all the way from, Africa to Europe, Russia. I mean, I've been around. Being an international, being an international child myself, my whole life I've been through different international systems and different schools around the world. So it's kind of like just continuing the legacy in a sense. So Mount Kelly, I was contacted to come to Hong Kong and help kind of revamp our early years department. And it's been such a fun and exciting time. It's absolutely brilliant. I'm so excited with the team that we have, the teachers, the staff, the whole school. It's just been a complete pleasure. You don't even feel like you're working. It's just like one big happy
I tell you, just the energy that you give off. I mean, I can see why this is quite a fun place for the kids.
It is absolutely. The kids love it. I mean, even on weekends, we get emails from parents saying, the kids are really upset. It's the weekend, I'm like, okay.
That's fantastic. Well, we're excited to chat with you and learn a little bit more. Mount Kelly, Hong Kong, how many years has it been in the market now?
So Mount Kelly's been around for about 4 years. And at the moment, we're expanding into global Mount Kelly in different parts around the world. So those are exciting projects, and we're all being a part of it to help, open the new schools. So it's an exciting time, I guess, for our foundation.
Excellent. All right. Well, I just want to let everybody know about how we're going to structure the chat today. We are going to be breaking down this chat into 3 main topic areas. The first being just understanding the curriculum, which obviously we've got the best person to talk about that, all about there. And then we've got the second topic is going to be really honing in on the bilingual and international streams. Very popular topic with parents, well, anywhere in Asia, but particularly in Hong Kong, to really understand the difference and how you do it specifically. The third area that we're going to be talking about is that transitioning process from playgroup to preschool. I find sometimes it's more stressful on the parents than the kids. So the more information there, the better. So we'll be chatting a little bit about that as well. So let's get started on topic number one, the curriculum. Okay. The curriculum is called the Early Years Foundation Stage, and it's I guess it's referred to as EYFS for short. I know some of these get a little bit confusing. So the Early Years Foundation Stage has, I guess, how many areas are there in the Early Years Foundation Stage? Maybe we start with that.
All right. So, well, the Early Years Foundation Stage comes from the English National Curriculum, but it's commonly referred to as the British curriculum. So you'll hear a lot of people saying, oh, is it the British curriculum? Yes, the EYFS. Same kind of thing. So there are 7 areas in the English National Curriculum, the British curriculum, that the children learn from. They're split into 2 parts, a specific area and the prime areas. The prime areas are about communication and language, physical development, personal, social, and emotional development. And then the specific areas are more math, literacy, understanding the world, and their understanding of the world, and arts and design. So the 7 areas really conclude a child's life in early years, because it's the beginning, it's the foundation. And you'll hear the terminology foundation a lot through the early years, because it is the foundation of their educational life. So we build the first part of the building blocks to let that develop.
Yeah, well, it sounds like, I mean, you rattled off those 7 different areas quite quickly, but when I do look at the 7 different areas, you are looking at a bit of academics, a bit of well-being, social skills, and a bit of that global aspect as well. So it's really, it's covering everything that you need there.
Yeah, absolutely. The early years is made to make sure it covers the whole child, so in every area.
That's great. So how are the lessons typically structured?
So in Mount Kelly, what we do is we have a really nice day for the children. So when they come in, we have something called circle time, where everybody sits down and we do kind of the attendance songs. We do kind of like a check-in as well. You know, what did you do yesterday? How did you enjoy it? And it really gets that communication flowing with the children. Of course, they get to greet each other, and it builds those bonds in the classroom. And then we go into our subject. So for instance, if we're talking about topic, and we have the story of the 3 little pigs, for instance. Then the teacher will read the story, ask them lots of questions, ask the children to talk to one another, pretend that they're part of the story. And then we split the children into activity groups. The best thing about Mount Kelly, because we have small class sizes, 15 students per class with a teacher and a teacher's assistant, we're able to split the children into their ability groups for the lessons and for them to achieve the learning objective of the day, which is very, very important, because they get one time with the teacher, the assistant. So after they finish their activity, we bring everybody back and we have a plenary, which is we sum up what the lesson was about, what did they learn from the lesson, what did they like about the lesson. And this follows through with all their other lessons. And when it's playtime, they usually take what they've learned from the lessons and they kind of mimic it into their play. So they'll go into our shared area, and then they're looking for, you know, the little pig costumes, and they're pretending to, you know, be the 3 little pigs.
All the fun stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I wish we structured our meetings like that. I think we should also start with a bit of circle time. So a couple things that I just picked up on there. You mentioned, is it 15 kids per class? So that's quite a small class. That's a very, very good ratio. I assume that's one of the big reasons parents and kids love it.
Absolutely. Mount Kelly, we're really proud of being kind of the only school in Hong Kong at the moment that does 15 students per class and has a teacher and a teacher's assistant. So that's, our parents love us for the fact that we're able to give a lot of one-to-one attention to the children. We help change the curriculum to meet specific needs of specific students, and that's been absolutely wonderful.
Excellent. Yeah, no, I definitely picked up on that. So you mentioned the play. Is it all play, or obviously it's preschool, it's young kids.
I would
how
love
much
it.
of it is play?
So one of the great things about early years is that you could take play and you could take structured lessons and you can merge them together. And that's something we really believe in. So we'll take a structured lesson, for instance, let's take math for an example, where the children are learning, for instance, to count one more. So if they're learning, the number 3, what comes after 3, what's one more than 3. So they're learning how to count with one step more on for instance, the number line. But then we would take the children into our shared area, we'd have a nice big number line on the floor, and we'll tell them, right, now you need to jump one more space from 3 to 4. So while they're playing and they're having such a good time, they're actually learning. So we combine structured lessons with play-based learning together, and the children just have an absolute fantastic day thinking that all they've done is play and have fun, but they're actually going through structured lessons and play-based learning.
That's good. So tell me the expected outcome for kids. I mean, obviously in Hong Kong, you have a lot of passionate parents. What are the expectations in terms of the outcome of the kids?
So one of the things that we love about early years is that they have kind of guidelines for us to make sure that the children are reaching specific targets by the end of their early years career. So they have Foundation 1, Foundation 2, or sometimes referred to as K1 and K2. There has to be certain targets that have to be met by the end of that year. So those targets, there are about 100 and I would say 120 targets that the children meet. It sounds like a lot, but a lot of the targets, well,
I'm curious to know if I meet those.
A lot of the targets are also about social and emotional. So it could be is able to talk to a friend, is able to share information with a friend, is able to pick up a pencil, is able to draw lines. So some of the targets, even though they sound a bit out there or they sound a bit simple, they have a progression of the targets to make sure that the children are ready to go into primary. But then again, every child learns at their own pace. And this is something also we're very proud of. We make sure that we cater to the children to make sure that they're moving forward and they're developing their skills. Sometimes they need a little bit kind of a slower approach. Sometimes they need to be push, because it's just too easy for them and we jump them and we extend their learning. So it really depends on the individual child, but everyone absolutely progresses and everybody do meet the targets, sometimes exceed those targets.
Excellent. Well, thanks for explaining the curriculum. I do want to just ask if there's any questions before we move into the next topic from the readers regarding the early years curriculum, the approach over at Mount Kelly. Any questions out there? Come on, guys. All right, we're going to move on. So just a reminder for those that just joined us, we are live on Little Steps, chatting with Mount Kelly, Hong Kong. We are chatting about their early years program, preschool, playgroup, and learning a lot about what it's like to be a student over there, and of course their bilingual and their international streams as well, which we'll get into a little bit more detail. So in terms of the next topic, want to bring up the way we're going to be structuring today's chat. We break it down into 3 core topics, and we just covered the curriculum. The second area that we're going to now be discussing is bilingual and international streams. Hot topic. So definitely want to jump right into that. Easiest question for you. Well, tell us about the bilingual and the international stream. How is it structured over there?
So we have, we're very proud of having 2 streams that we can offer our community. So first we have our international stream, which means that we teach the English National Curriculum, or the EYFS, completely in English. So the lessons are all delivered in English. The teachers only speak to the children in English. and the TAs only speak to the children in English. And because we have also an internet staff, it's quite easy for our teachers to do. They do receive 2 lessons of Mandarin a week to keep them, alive with the exposure of the community that they're in. And they do like it, they do some songs and they do some stories, depending if they're in FS1 or K1, FS2 or K2. It depends on how they would take the lessons for Mandarin. And then we have our fabulous bilingual stream, which is one of our most popular streams at Mount Kelly. It's something new that we started this year. And our bilingual stream is very exciting. The children get to learn the English National Curriculum in both English and in Mandarin. So while the teacher is having a conversation, our international teacher having a conversation with the children, again, let's use the 3 Little Pigs as an example, telling them the story of the 3 Little Pigs, the Mandarin teacher who's also present would continue the conversation in Mandarin. Now, a lot of our parents will ask us, why don't the teachers just translate? The little pig went and built a house, then the Mandarin teacher would translate. The problem is when you end up translating throughout the day, the children kind of filter out the English and they just focus to the Mandarin because it's easier. But when you continue the conversation, so if you say in English, the little pig went to the house, and then continue the conversation in Mandarin saying, he used straw to build the house, the children have to be aware of the English, of the Mandarin, and they absorb both languages at the same time. So our children are getting kind of the best of both worlds in a sense.
So you said that the bilingual, it's new, right? Did you roll it out this year, 2021?
Yes, 2021. Yeah.
Excellent. So do you see one stream stronger than the other or more popular, or how would you, I'm sure you get that question.
Yes. One of the most famous questions that we always get is, what do you think is better? What do you think is better for my child? Do you think they'll be stronger if I put them in the bilingual? Do you think they need the international stream? And we have a very honest and transparent meeting with the parents when they come to us with these questions, because there is no right answer. There is no stronger or weaker. It depends on your family setting. So if you're interested in your child to have a balance of Mandarin and English, then the bilingual stream is for you. If you plan on staying maybe in Asia for a couple of years, or if you live here, then the bilingual stream is a better option for you. However, we do have that are only in Hong Kong for a year or a year contract, and they just want to help build their English of the students. We also have a lot of local families that just want to build on the English, and they put them in the international stream. So I really believe there's never a better or worse option for our families. It just depends on the family setting. It depends on the family future, where they plan to move on to, if they plan to stay. Depending on kind of the household arrangements, that's the best options for you. And we always have meetings, and we're happy to help our parents make those decisions.
Yeah, I'm sure some parents just need a bit of consulting in terms of their situation or their expectations. So that does make a lot of sense. You mentioned earlier that you've got these expectations, I guess, when they leave preschool, moving into kindergarten, moving into primary schools. How does that relate to the Chinese language and the expectations around the bilingual stream itself?
So with the bilingual stream, they still have to be able to reach the targets at the end of the year. And so far this year, I mean, like we said, it's our first year rolling this out. Excuse me. We've had amazing reports. We've had amazing progress. We follow the students' progress for every lesson throughout every day. We have a great, fabulous program called Tapestry, where parents can log in, see pictures of the children working, see what they've done, see the progress of the day. And so far, comparing the international stream and bilingual stream together, the children are moving at the same pace, just having that extra kind of Mandarin support in the classroom. When they move into our primary school, Mandarin is given as a core subject, so the children will follow along from the bilingual stream. And if children are coming from the international stream going into the primary, there's also kind of Chinese as a second language for the students. So they will also be catered for with those needs. Got
it. Well, I would imagine too the ratio that you mentioned earlier, the 15 to 1, learning a second language it's got to be a big boost. So I would imagine that moves it quickly. So we, just chatted a bit about the bilingual and the international streams over at Mount Kelly. Is there anything else that you wanted to add on there before we move into the next topic? And just want to throw it out there. Are there any questions before we move into the next topic around transitioning?
So when it comes to kind of the bilingual and the international stream, like I said, our bilingual stream is always popular. It's kind of our classes that get full quite quickly. And it's a great option if you're here, if you're living here, or if you're going to be here for a couple of years. It's a great way to get the children exposed to that balance. And children at this age, before the age of 7, always have the best ability to pick up a second and third language. So it's a great way to get that process going. Yeah.
Excellent. Wow. Congrats again on the new bilingual stream. That's a big effort to put together. So great.
Thank you. We're very proud.
So just want to remind everybody that for those that are joining us, we are live with Mount Kelly, Hong Kong. We are chatting all about their early years program, their preschool, their play groups. We've been covering their new bilingual stream as well as their international stream. And now we're going to really move into the transitioning phase. And I know this is a big one for parents. Transitioning from play groups to preschool to primary, the critical times. So we are going to move right into that if we don't have any other questions. All right, let's do it then. All right. So not much research has been done on this topic. Can you give us a little bit of insight in terms of these transitional periods and in terms of your experience?
So transition is very important. A lot of schools do it in general to make sure the children are comfortable moving from one stage to another, especially when children join a school, they join a family. So everybody becomes connected in a sense, the adults, the staff, the parents, the students, everyone is connected. So to make sure that the children move from one side to another, one department to another, we have to make sure that they're comfortable and confident. The way Mount Kelly Preschool is set up, we have our preschool department and we have our pre-nursery and babies and toddlers department, which is in one building. And then we have our primary school with our secondary in a different building, which is about 10 minutes away from each other. So going from the early years up to the prep school, we also do a transition. Within our preschool setting, we have 3 different sections where they all have their own kind of areas, their own entrances, their own facilities, and they connect through activities we do, such as like Christmas time and Easter time, certain play times. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, we're unable to put the groups together to have this time, and this is what every school is facing around the world. We had to come up with the best way to do transition, which I'll get into if you like.
Yeah, maybe give us the short version of that.
So what we have is, like I said, a program called Tapestry, first of all, and that records every child's developmental abilities every single day. So while they're having the lesson, the teacher will take a picture, mark off from the English National Curriculum which target they're trying to achieve, and have they achieved it, or do they need more time to achieve it? And the parents get real-time insight on that, where they click into the app and they see through the day and the activities. The teachers also have that ability to access the information. So we would say let's say our Foundation 1 teachers would look into the pre-nursery children's profiles and see where they're at. So they get to know kind of the academic side of the children. Towards the end of the year, the teachers go down to the pre-nursery classrooms and they spend time with the children. They play with them, they make little lessons for them. So the children start building those bonds, and this happens between every year group. So when the children come in the next year, they know the teachers, they know the staff, they know the environment. So there's no crying and screaming and that lasts a week or two as a new student might do going into a completely different environment. Our students, when they transition within the first day, they're like, "Oh, hello, Mrs. Can I go get this?
You.
Can I get this?" And
So that's great. So you've talked a bit about how Mount Kelly's team helps with that transition. As far as the parents are concerned, what are their involvement in terms of the process, or what do you encourage the parents to do to help with those transitions?
So first of all, we meet the parents. Well, now we have to meet them through Zoom. Usually we would meet them live and, have a nice chat with them. But because we have to meet them through Zoom, we do kind of live sessions with them to let them know what's going to happen. We actually have our first transition meeting happening next week with all our families. And they get to meet all the teachers, they get to meet the heads of department, and then we give them a little bit of information about how the transition will happen. The first day of transition, where we ask the children to go from one building to the other, we ask the parents to join them and to spend the day with them. And it's a really good bonding experience as well for the children to understand that, my mom and dad are here with these new teachers, but my old teachers are here, so it's very comfortable. And then a couple of years later, the children do it alone with their teachers. Again, very comfortable. And they're familiar with the teachers because a lot of the teachers will come down to the preschool, especially specialist teachers like our art teacher, our PE teacher, our music teacher. They come down and they give the lessons to the students. So when they come to, for instance, the prep school, it's very familiar. Oh, I know this teacher, I know this one. And when they come up with their parents on the first day, they feel very comfortable, they feel secure. And then throughout the rest of the month until the end of the year, they do trips once a week. And, the next year comes around, easy peasy.
That sounds good. It's also, I can just imagine it would open up a lot of communication between the parents and the kids and the teachers as well.
Absolutely.
You recognize the classrooms, you know what they're talking about when they come home. And just all good things.
And parents also can, by talking to the children about their experience when they were young and they had to go to a new school or a new classroom, letting them know that, everybody gets sad and upset or excited and happy. It's not just your feelings. Everyone in the class is going to have the same feelings. These things help the children kind of become more grounded and more understanding to what's happening. And again, gives them that comfort, security for them to move up.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Well, thank you so much for chatting a bit more about the transition process. I know that's a big one for parents. We want to move into questions. We do have some questions coming in, and I know that you do lots of open days and lots of events, so I'm sure you've got other little bits to add as well. Before I get into the questions, there are a couple of things that we want to talk about in terms of that you have coming up, events. So you mentioned there's a June 5th open house. Which you also mentioned that you've got a bit of a social distancing style. It's 5 families every 30 minutes. So we're going to include the link to that open house. That's June 5th. So that is on campus open house. Meet the team, see what the kids are up to, all of these things. There's another event on the 21st of May. That's coming up in a couple of weeks. That is the info session in Mandarin and English. So you conduct the info session in Mandarin and English. Is that exactly
so we have 2 separate info sessions. One that's early in the morning that's done in Mandarin for our families that are more comfortable hearing about the school in Mandarin. And then later in the afternoon, we do another info session with me in English. And we also do this. It's the exact same presentation. It's just if you choose English or Mandarin, whatever you're comfortable with, we're happy to help our families become more connected to our school that way.
Excellent, excellent. So those are the 2 events that you guys need to pay attention to, May and June, and we'll make sure and include those links on the description there and in the comments so that you can reach those quite easily. So we have some questions coming in. We've got one from Melanie. How many classes are in each grade of K1 and K2?
Really good question. So we have 1 K1 International, 1 K1 Bilingual, 1 K2 International, and 1 K2 Bilingual. So we have one of each year group in our facility at the moment.
Okay, there you go. We'll put that in the description as well. Let's see. Okay, so tell us about the relationship between Mount Kelly and Mount Kelly in the UK. I think there's some questions coming in regarding, is there a transition from Hong Kong to the UK? I assume you've had this question a few times.
Yes, also another popular question. It's a very good question. So Mount Kelly, we believe that we're a big family. So Mount Kelly UK, Mount Kelly Japan, Mount Kelly Malaysia, all our Mount Kellys around the world are all our big family together. So you're guaranteed a place as you go through the Mount Kelly system. So we have a lot of families that will keep their children with Mount Kelly until maybe year 4 or 5, and then they would like to send them to the UK, to boarding school, or maybe to another school if the family's moving to Japan or Malaysia, or our future, hopefully, other sites that we're looking into. And because you're a Mount Kelly, as we say, Mount Kellyer, you get to be a Mount Kellyer for life. So you're a guaranteed place in any of our Mount Kelly schools around the world. And that's also one of our best parts of Mount Kelly, is that the children feel that they're a part of something. They have identity, so it's easy for them to move around. We already have some children last year that have moved to our Mount Kelly UK boarding school, and they're absolutely loving it.
Oh, fantastic. No, that's really good for people to know, especially in today's world that everybody's moving around and changing, and people looking at boarding schools as well. I know that's a big hot topic. So good to know. Well, I think that is all the questions that we have for now. I do want to remind everybody that this live link, we are live now, but if you're watching the live version of the video after we finish, you can always ask questions, because we know where these guys live, and we will definitely contact them and get your questions answered in one way or another. So just keep the comments coming, even if you're watching this after we are live. So thanks for joining us today, and really big thanks to Mount Kelly Hong Kong, and of course Miss Fawzy over there for all of your insights and just general knowledge, and giving you more information about what it's like to send your child over to preschool at Mount Kelly, Hong Kong. So thank you again. For everybody else,
I really appreciate it. And, Little Steps Asia, thank you so much for having us and hosting us today. It is an absolute honor. We love Little Steps Asia. We follow you guys, and we encourage all our families to follow them. They're absolutely brilliant. So hopefully we'll hear from you soon if you have any questions.
Yes.
We're here for you guys.
We have lots more to chat about, so let's bring you back on. So, thank you again, and thanks for everybody that joined us today. We'll see you next time.
We'll see you soon, everyone. Bye.